Good morning, everyone. My name is Veritas, and welcome back to Destiny. Now, today is Friday. That means that Xur, the exotic merchant, is somewhere in a social space. This week, I believe he happens to be in the tower. We will see. Head on over to the speaker side of the tower. I believe it's Tower North, to find Xur hiding over in a corner, like he likes to do, hiding in corners. He will have some exotic things to sell you, bundles and things along those lines. Let's go ahead and see what he has this week for sale. Hopefully it's something useful and not useless. Interesting stuff here. Interesting stuff. Actually, I have a recommendation immediately, but we'll get into that later. So exotic gear, legacy engram. This is a heavy weapon engram. This will turn into a super good advice. Things like that. Year 1 heavy weapons, max life 170. So if you're missing something from year 1 and it's a heavy weapon, this is how you get it. Don't expect to get like a Nemesis star from this, or like a Iron Yallarhorn or anything like that. Don't expect that. Moving into the Titan exotic, he has the insurmountable Skull Fort. This doesn't look like a good roll at all. It's actually pretty terrible. Very low roll here. If you want this for collection's sake or because you think it looks neat, it has improved transfusion. Kills with Storm Fist immediately trigger health regeneration, and you respawn with full melee energy and gain a second melee charge. So very punchy based helmet. I think the Thagamizers, which are exotic gauntlets for the Titan, are technically better than these. This helmet is. So I don't recommend it. I'm not even going to go over the perks. It's pretty terrible. Don't recommend picking it up at all. Moving into the Hunter exotic, we have Shinobu's Vow. These are also pretty not great. These have improved skip grenades with new tricks. Improved skip grenades and you gain an additional skip grenade charge. So 2 skip grenades and they home in like Yallarhorn rounds. Very annoying. They've been nerfed since their introduction though, so they're less effective than they used to be. They look pretty neat though, so aesthetically they're pretty cool. Mentioned this last time we sold them. For hunters collecting things, these are some gauntlets for you to pick up if you don't have them. Like I said, stat roll is not that great, but go ahead and pick it up if you want it. Auto rifle loader, machine gun loader, things like that. Go ahead and grab it if you want it. Skip grenades, crucible stuff. Wouldn't use it in PvE if I were you. Moving into the Warlock exotic this week, we have the Nothing Manacles. Another meh roll. These are actually much better than the other ones are, but still not great. So this exotic perk is called Scatter Charge. This enables tracking on scatter grenades, and you can hold additional scatter grenade charge as well. So the weapon this week is an auto rifle, the Suros Regime. Exotic auto rifle, interesting gun, pretty fun to use in the Crucible. I wouldn't recommend it in PvE. It's pretty terrible in PvE, but it is good for the Crucible depending on its perks. So we have kinetic damage here, no element. These along the lines, Smart Drift Control. I recommend Smart Drift Control for increased stability. You've got spinning up and focus fire. Spinning up, the longer you hold the trigger, the faster it fires. Focus fire, when zoomed, the weapon fires slower but causes additional damage. I highly recommend. It also has, range and stability perks. You can see that it kind of changes depending on which one you pick. I would go with, I'd definitely go with focus fire just to have that increased damage. And firing slower is actually pretty good. Range also increases accuracy for Crucible nonsense. Suros Legacy is your exotic perk here. The bottom half of every magazine deals bonus damage and has a chance to return health on kill. So as you shoot more bullets, they do more damage, and kills could trigger health regeneration, which is pretty good. Hammer Forged and Lightweight. I like to run Lightweight with it, but you can go ahead and run Hammer Forged for that increased range and accuracy as well. Alright, so we've got 2 there. Good, decent, interesting ornaments. Moving away from his exotic gear, we have the weapon bundles. So this week we have Dragon's Breath and Tiger Shark, and Zalo Supercell and Shock Hazard. I recommend picking up the Zalo Supercell and Shock Hazard as it is the better looking of the 2. If you want to see what these look like, go head over to your exotic weapon kiosk, inspect these weapons, and then preview the ornaments if you want to see those. I believe I actually have a Zalo Supercell that I can show you. The Tiger Shark and Dragon's Breath doesn't look very good together. It's personal preference if you want to see it. It's in the kiosk, but Zalo Supercell with the ornament he's selling, Shock Hazard, looks something along the lines of this. So pretty neat. Without the ornament, it looks something like this. So if you want it to look, much better than it does already, go ahead and apply Shock Hazard to that. If you want to purchase a weapon bundle, go ahead. It's fairly expensive, to be honest with you. That will net you 30 coins and 25 silver dust, or cost you, rather, 30 strange coins and 25 silver dust. Very expensive, but if you don't have a Zalo Supercell and you want to get one and have, a nice ornament to go along with it, I recommend picking up this weapon bundle here, as it is a very useful weapon, even now with the introduction of new exotic primaries that have elements. Zalo Supercell still reigns supreme in terms of arc primaries because of its exotic perks and things. So if you want to pick one up, go ahead and pick that one up. Moving down to curios with the Plasma Drive and the quote-unquote Emerald Coil, because consistency is number one here at Bungie. These can be used to upgrade rare quality Sparrows that you can purchase from the Quartermasters at the Crucible and Vanguard. These can be used to upgrade those into legendary quality Sparrows with a blue and green trail respectively. Enjoy that. Those Sparrows cost 175 legendary marks. These cost 23 strange coins each. Have fun making that happen. Moving into heavy ammo synthesis, you have 3 for 1 or 10 for 3. I always recommend 10 for 3 as it is technically cheaper. These can be used to trade into factions for faction packages, which drop up to 400 light, or you can use them for their intended purpose, which is getting heavy ammo back while in combat, such as raids and PvE activities along those lines. Moving into 3 of coins, this stackable effect is not stackable at all, technically speaking. You can buy these and use them to get exotic engrams to drop off of ultras or crucible match completions. This means if you're going to do strikes, the boss at the end of strikes are most usually ultras. So go ahead and use A3 of coins at the beginning of a strike, go through the strike, kill the boss. If you don't get something to drop, use another one. It goes at the next strike. Continue until you get exotics to drop. Same thing with Crucible. Use one at the beginning of a match, go through the match. If you don't get one, use another one. Don't use 5 at once. It doesn't work that way. The buff is about 5% every time you use one. You could get really lucky and get one every single time, or you can get really unlucky and never get one at all. That's the power of RNG. Moving into the last thing here, we have Glass Needles, a very end game type of item. If you want anything he's selling this week and you want a better stat roll, Glass Needles are your answer. What Glass Needles can do is they reroll exotic armors. So say this Shinobu's Vow is a pretty terrible roll. It's in the red. 86% I believe is what I said it was. If you want to reroll this to have better, stats up here, better amounts of stats, better stats in general, different perks and things along those lines, this will always have discipline as it is a grenade-based pair of gauntlets. So don't try to get this with intellect and strength. It will always have discipline. But if you want this to have better discipline, or better, intellect, discipline, or discipline, strength, etc., go ahead and re-roll it with Twist Fate, which requires Glass Needles. This will change the stats, it will change the amount of stats, it'll change the perks as well. Be mindful that some exotic armors have set perks just like they have set stats, and some can't get certain stats and certain perks, so be mindful of that when you're doing it. The Bungie Armory on Bungie.net will tell you what can and can't roll on certain things. Just a quick guide. If it has a perk that does a thing, it's probably going to always have that thing. Namely, something along the lines of a melee-based exotic piece of armor will always have strength, grenade-based will always have discipline, and grenade-based will always have discipline. Simple things there. Certain things can't get other perks, etc. Moving down to weapon or material exchange, we have Motes of Light, 2 strange coins for 1 Motes of Light. Never use this. It's the worst conversion rate in the game. I never recommend it. It is actually terrible. And he has exotic shards for your exotic armor upgrade needs or infusion needs. Go ahead and buy one of these if you want one. If you need more than one, I recommend not buying more than one from him. If you want to duplicate those, quote-unquote, go ahead and follow me back to the Vanguard, and I will show you how to duplicate those easily and much more cheaply. Cheapily. Is cheapily a word? I have no idea. Anyway, Zur is over there by the speaker, hanging out in Tower North, selling nothing really fantastic. The only thing I'd recommend this week in terms of stats would be the Warlock Gauntlets. Even those are not very good. Otherwise, he's not selling anything super worth it. But go ahead and pick something up if you're missing it from your collection. I would actually recommend the bundle with Zalo Supercell because it is the better of the 2 ornaments. Moving over here. So, we've got the weapon kiosk here. Go ahead and find a Truth rocket launcher. Go ahead and pick that puppy up right there. You can buy that with your exotic shard you just bought from Zur. Go ahead and head into your inventory and equip that bad boy. The next step you're going to need is a couple of things. So you can either have a class item that has rocket launcher upgrade rate. You see pulse, hand cannon, rocket launcher. We're going to use rocket launcher upgrade rate. Or you can go into your inventory, and if you have these, you could have a telemetry, which can be purchased from the gunsmith. I will show you what those look like here. So there's also a telemetry you can purchase from the gunsmith, 250 glimmer a piece, heavy telemetry here. Go ahead and use one. That's how you get that. So now you have, a telemetry active, which will give you this node here, heavy weapon analysis. This will increase XP gain for heavy weapons, which makes this thing only take about 6 motes of light to upgrade fully. With the Nightfall buff Radiant Light, it will only take 5. So we'll go into our inventory and go ahead and burn 5 motes of light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should fully upgrade this rocket launcher thanks to Radiant Light's buff. We have full experience here. No need to click on any of this. No need to spend any more materials than you already have. Go ahead and unequip your Truth rocket launcher and dismantle that puppy. So your 1 exotic shard that you use to purchase this Truth rocket launcher will turn into 2 exotic shards. There, some motes, weapon parts, and glimmer back for you as well. Cheapest way to get exotic shards in the game is to just duplicate them using the kiosk along those lines, things like that. So that's pretty much all I'm going to get for you this week. That's my recommendations. I'd recommend picking up the Zala Supercell with the Shock Hazard ornament. It's probably the best, combination of things in the game. Arguably still the best exotic primary in the game when it comes to arc element. Even, the Fatebringer's fine, and the raid weapons are fine, but the perks that the Zala Supercell has much outweigh the raid primaries being nostalgic or whatever. If you're curious, the Zala Supercell that he's selling, or all of them, have persistence and bolts from the blue, double kills, charge your super, and return a small amount to the magazine. Ammo-wise, very, very good. I really recommend it. They also chain together and do cool things. So I recommend picking up the bundle if you have the silver dust to purchase it. Instead of trying to wait for him to sell the Zala Supercell and then trying to buy the ornament from the kiosk, just pick up the bundle while he's selling it. It's it's the best thing you could probably do this week, honestly. That's my recommendation, is pick up the bundle. Otherwise, he's not selling anything super worth your time. But that's where he is. That's what he's got. Recommendations, like I said. And that's going to be it from me. So I'll see you on Tuesday for the weekly reset video. If you want to see other things that I'm doing solo and co-op, links in the description, as well as to my Twitter and Twitch if you want to see or talk to me on other websites. Have fun with that. Enjoy. I will see you guys, like I said, on Tuesday for weekly reset. Unless something crazy happens, I need to make a Destiny video between now and Tuesday, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. So, yep. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, very much appreciated. And, as always, until next time.